Hi, this is Tim, St. Paul Tim on Twitter and other internet places. And I'm just playing around with doing some videos tonight and thought I would do a contrib module video to show a brand new contrib module that just got released this week that I found. The contrib module is you can find it on backdrop.org, called Mosaic Grid. And Pavel, it looks like, is the maintainer and the person who wrote this. GitHub Korantari account. So thanks to Pavel for creating this module. I just played with it. It's a pretty brand new. I think the release was just a couple of days ago. The installing modules is similar to how you would do it with Drupal. If you're used to Drupal, you can put it in your modules directory in backdrop root, and then you just go to the functionality, list modules, and there it is, Mosaic Grid, and we can turn it on. Just save the configuration. So I'm installing this. It's the only module enabled in this particular backdrop install that I am working on my local machine. I did create a content type in advance called animals. In my animals content type, I created a image field. Nothing special about it. Configure pretty much all default settings, except that I did enable an alt and title fields. I can show you why in a second. And the other thing I did was I uploaded a bunch of nodes, about 10, with just images. That's pretty much it. I gave them a title, an image, and some of them I put a short title text. Okay, so that's it. So for this module, under Configuration Media, we find Mosaic Grid for configuration. I'm finding a little bit of problem with this loader style in that, so that you may need to keep this set to none. Although let's set it for spinning ring for once. We'll go ahead, if there's the problem is still there, see if it's still there. Lazy loading, I'm pretty sure this just means that Backdrop isn't going to load the images until you actually show them on your screen. So if the mosaic image is off screen, it won't try to load all the images. And as you get close to or actually try to view the image or the mosaic, the images will load. So there's nothing really that needs to be configured here. There are some things you can play with. But what you do have to do to make this work is go to Views. And if we go to View and we say Add a View, and we'll name our view Animals, Content, type Animals. In here, under the Format, there's a Mosaic Grid option. So we can do a Mosaic Grid of fields. We don't need a pager. Let's go ahead and save that. And now what we do need to do is we need to add the image field to our view. So I have an image view on posts, and I have a different one on animals. We want to add the one on animals. So I haven't fully played with this here. We're going to want the formatter to be an image for sure. And I don't know if this is going to be like the mat, if it's going to load. I'm doing a medium image style because I know that all of my images are going to have something at least that big. We could load the larger one, but let's just do that. And I didn't try this before either, but let's link this to the content. Load image, display the image on the left or right. No, I don't think we want to do that. So that's all we want to do, save that. don't know if we need to get rid of the title. We're not going to be using it, but I don't think we need to get rid of it. We have a path animals. Let's hit save. We saved our view, so that's all we've done is create a mosaic grid. Oh, under settings for the mosaic grid, we can set the maximum row height, the gap between images, a margin around the images. We can also choose to do the image title tag as a caption, which you'll see in a minute. There's 4 maximum row height policy things here, and you can read them underneath tail, skip, crop, and oversize. Which is which? Let's just start with the default. Hit save. We have to save our view again. If I click on the page, oops, it says it's not saved. So, okay, invalid field type. I think format requires 1 image field. In my option, we have 1 text field. As I recall, if I get rid of the title field, I think that'll take care of that problem. There we go. Now it lets us save it. So it's a view just of the preview doesn't seem to work for this. Oh, it does work. Well, maybe it works. Let's go ahead and go to the page and see if that works better. Boom, look at that. So basically this just creates a mosaic view. Now, because these images are so big, we're getting some weird gaps. I believe that we want to make them a little smaller. So if we go in here and we make the rows, let's say 250 at the most tall. Apply changes, save. Boom, look at that, a nice, neat grid. I'm finding that most of the time this produces really nice, like square cornered grids. Depending on the settings, sometimes you'll have a stray image at the end. You can max, a few other settings that we can play with. We can do, if we go to the grid, one thing, where is it? Is it under more? Yep, it is under more. We can set the maximum number of rows. So for example, we could say only make a maximum of 2 rows. If we save that, now we've only got 2 rows. I tried something as I was experimenting with this before. Like right now, it is showing them the images depending on when we by post date. So let me try the preview again. Okay, the preview shows you. Okay, it's showing the captions on the images. It's showing you something, but it's not actually loading the images. But basically, these are listed in the exact order that that I uploaded them. Another thing we could try is a random display. So I can add random, and this is interesting. Let's just leave it at that, and I'm going to get rid of the post, remove the by post. So now the only sort criteria is random. And we only had 2 rows, so that means it's not going to show them all every time. So I found that when I do this and I load it the first time, it tends to display better. If I hit refresh, in this case it did. It changed the images. We've got the pheasant now that wasn't there before. Let's refresh it again. This seems to be working pretty smoothly. Oh, there we go. If I did it enough times, I'll get one that just doesn't work. So it doesn't, at least it doesn't work in terms of a nice square shape. Let's hit refresh again. Okay. Anyways, that's pretty cool. Let's see if there's anything else we want to quickly test. The settings are all here in the, I mean, we could do 20 instead. Let's do that, show you how that works. Save. It's just going to be a bigger gap between the images. That's just nice. That works well here. Let's do that, but add another row again. Settings, more. Let's do 3 rows. I don't know, I'm going to make the row a little bit bigger again. The rows won't be the exact same size every time, but there you go. Look at that, how nice. Most of these are working out well. And we're getting, for images that do have a title, it's showing up here in the caption, a cold fox. Let's, where do we, let me see. There was some place where we could customize caption style. So I can change, font style is background opacity 90. I'm going to just try changing these settings a bit and see if we can improve the quality of the well, definitely a much better caption, but here's a case where the images did not line up so well. I haven't figured out what the trick is here, but sometimes that happens. Anyways, I think that's it for this. Oh, there we go. If I refresh it, look at how neat this came out. Again, not all of them have captions, so they're not all showing up, but this is a pretty cool module. I encourage you to play around with it. You can find it at Backdrop Contrib, Mosaic Grid, or if you go to backdropcms.org, all the modules are under add-ons. And because these are listed in terms of release date, and this was just released like a day or two ago, so it's right here at the top. But otherwise, you could do a search. Mosaic. Oops, I spelled it wrong. Anyways, good enough. Thanks for joining me. Talk to you later.